a moment ago about how a lot of us are sick even though we are a little lighter. But one thing I can recall is that we used to party 3 or 4 days a week back in my day. We partied on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe I guess you went to church, you got to party on Sunday too. We were moving a lot more back then. We don't move around now. We sit in front of the television for hours. We go to work, we sit in our cars. It's too much not moving going on. I can remember going into the clubs and all the women, if you all look at the pictures of your mothers from back in the day, our mothers were beautiful. They were gorgeous in their 40s and 50s and 60s. Look at our women in their 20s now. We're breaking ourselves down, we're breaking our bodies down. And I, for one, did not want to have a show talking about health and I wasn't being healthy myself. The gray is coming in because of the stress, not because of the health. And now we got stress on top of stress and bad food at the same time. It's a time bomb. It's a time bomb. Kids with cancer. What the hell kids have cancer? We never heard of kids have ADHD, autism. Where did all this stuff come from all of a sudden? HIV. Everybody's got HIV. You got HIV today, you got HIV. It's like everybody's like having a cold now. And then everybody's like, damn, if they catch HIV, because you're told that you got to take all these medications, otherwise you're going to die. Now I had a bush doctor, in fact, before I even met you guys, I had a bush doctor in New York City. Sundown. How many New Yorkers in the house? Any New Yorkers? Rasan, bush doctor in the Bronx. This guy turned me on to juicing in the morning. He said, Mike, why would you put dead food in your body in the morning? Your body's been fasting, break fast. Your body's been fasting, because we eat normally what time? What time you eat the last meal you have during the day? 6, 7? Now, you get up at what time? 5 o'clock. That's like 12 hours. Body's been shut down, no food, no nothing. The first thing you do when you get up in the morning, just think about this for a second, y'all. You put 4 or 5 strips of dead, cooked, burnt bacon, because you know we like it burnt. Right. Then you scramble some dead minstrel, chicken minstrel. I love saying ministration. You gotta say it, because when you said that, it didn't shut me down until I heard you say chicken ministration. I was like, oh no. And that's the look at she's over there eating going. So you got the dead meat, you got the chicken ministration, cow's milk. I don't know if it was you or Dr. Baruch. You can expound on this, Dr. Baruch, and I'll continue my example about breakfast. Cow's milk, you said calves can't even drink cow's milk.
What it is that calves cannot drink the milk that you get in the grocery store. In 30 days, they will expire drinking that milk. It's been homogenized, it's been pasteurized, and all the other things that have been done to it, it would destroy their system. And a cow has to, within the first 10 days of being, a calf, excuse me, has to, within the first 10 days of being born, it has to drink from its mother in order to get its immune system. That's where it gets its immune system from. No different than you. You have to drink your mother's milk in order to strengthen your immune system at birth.
Before I even go any further, talk about breastfeeding to the sisters, because we got feeding the kids for me, and I'll finish my breakfast thing with you.
You know, I was talking about breastfeeding this morning. I feel like I'm always talking about breasts. But I gotta say, and I have to keep it honest and real without fear of repercussion, that I breastfed my daughter, who's now 4 1/2, for 4 years. Okay, and a lot of people say, oh, that's if they can ask for it, they can't, that's too old. That is not true. All over the world, the average age of weaning outside of industrialized nations is about 5 1/2, 6 years old. Okay, we have to breastfeed our children, and that's what also will give you your shape back. You don't have to worry about, ooh, look at this, and oh, look at this.
How does that work, Doc?
Well, it takes about 2,000 calories a day to feed a child. So you can pretty much eat whatever you want if you just breastfeed them. And then in addition to that, you're protecting yourself against cervical cancer, breast lumps, we don't want lumpy breasts, we don't want lumpy oatmeal, lumpy gravy, and lumpy breasts especially. You know, it's just not sexy. What you want to do is have a body that's free of all of these things. But if you don't allow the rivers and streams that are in your body to continue the way they should, like these shots they give women to dry up the milk, after you have the children, it constipates the breast. We don't want that. Milk, breasts for feeding children, I know you guys think breasts are for so many other things. But honest to God, they're for feeding children. And it makes a completely different bond between you and your children. And as this is Mother's Day weekend, it's really an opportunity for us to talk about that. And when people talk about extended breastfeeding as anything beyond a year, that's not extended. That's not normal for us to take the children off of the breast after a month or 2 months or 6 months or even a year. They will take themselves off of it when they're ready. They won't drink for 1 minute longer than they need to. They're very zen, you know, they live in the moment. They will not do that. And the more that you do that, you'll find that your own body responds differently, ladies. So this fibrocystic breast tissue, fibroids in the womb, all of that stuff has a lot to do with the fact that we're not obeying nature. Nature's saying that. And it's so sad to see children who get taken off the breast and they keep grabbing for it. They keep leaning on it. They're like, oh, they had it. You know, ladies know they're nodding. They're like, yeah. They're like, oh. My daughter calls them leches. She's like, leches. Okay, so we have to make sure that that happens. Now you were talking about...
How does that impact the immune system and the intellectual level of the child as they get older?
It's completely different. It's completely different. I found that I breastfed my first daughter, who's going to be 23 soon, for about 9 months, and I won't say this to her, so keep it under your hat. But I see a complete difference between her and my 4-year-old. Neither of them really get sick because I raised them as vegetarians, but I see a complete difference in the immune system of my 4-year-old and the immune system of the bigger one. And then her rate of development, the small one, was incredible. She was already reading at 3. She was already recognizing all her letters, reading all of that. By the time I sent her to school at 4.5, she was way ahead. She was already great ahead of all the other kids.
What's in the formula?
Oh my God, it's a nightmare. The very fact that they call it formula should give you something to think about. It's like, what is in that? But the thing is that you cannot change, you can't approximate breast milk. Breast milk is so magical. Let me just tell you how magical your breasts are, because I think you might think you know, but not that midnight magical, but how magical they are with children is that the very saliva that a child puts on your breast when they're drinking sends signals to your body to change the milk depending on what they need at that time. So it will produce more fat in it, or more protein, or more sugar, based on the signals the child's saliva sends through your own skin. The milk will alter itself, and scientists have not been able to figure out how that happens. And the thing in the can can't change. You're putting the Similac or whatever, it's constant. But your body, any immunizations you had, any illnesses you had, all of that stuff goes right through to the child to give them natural immunity and protection. Please, Mother's Day is a great time to talk about that kind of stuff. You have people in your lives that are having children, thinking about having children, have small ones. Even if you have already taken the child off of the breast, you know you can put them back on, and it will start back up. That's how magical your body is. You know you can adopt a child and put them on your breast, and it will start making milk. Not you, Dr. Baruch, but everybody. Don't do it. But your breast actually will make milk. That's how magical you are. So don't think, okay, my child hasn't been feeding for 3-4 months, a year, it's too late. It's never too late. Okay? Yes, about the breakfast.
Back to the dead meat in the chicken administration. So you're starting your day, and I'm going to go even deeper with this. Your day starts after fasting for 12 hours according to you. Most people go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock, they get up at 6 or 7.